If you consider yourself wealthy or financially successful, one of your main concerns may be how to pass on that success to a younger generation, your children or even your grandchildren. But how do you connect in a way that's meaningful to that younger generation? Teenagers, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, when you have literally had a different life experience growing up. You may have been growing up as a child before the invention of computers or even cell phones, whereas today's generations are all about technology. So you've had different life experiences. Connecting with them in a way that is meaningful and sticky is important if you want to pass on knowledge and experience that you've gained over a lifetime on how to be financially successful. There's a few tips on how to do that. I'm going to go through them. I'm Anna Hilberry. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I had a long-time client. He and his wife immigrated to Canada when they were a young married couple, and they spent their whole life working extremely hard and scrimping and saving so that they could build up wealth. And they did. They were successful. My client in retirement had this concern that was just sort of eating him alive. He was really worried about passing on the wealth to his children. He had this saying, and you can Google it if you want to. It was shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. This is a common worry for clients. And what it is that the first generation builds the wealth. They start from here, start from nothing, and they scrimp and they save and they build their way all the way up to wealth. And then the second generation, the children up here, will maintain the wealth, but they don't pass on that knowledge to the grandchildren. And then down here, the money just gets spent and the grandchildren end up in poverty. So hence, shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. It's a common concern for clients. Speaking to the younger generation, teenagers, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds even, in a way that is meaningful to them means that that information will be more sticky. If something is meaningful to you, you're more likely to hear it, to listen, and also to follow that advice and adapt it in your daily life. So there's a few tricks. Let's go through them now. Step number 1, get your children or your grandchildren on a savings plan. A good idea is to give them an allowance. You want it small enough that they can't go out and buy, lavishly spend on things with the first check that they get from you. Maybe it's on a daily basis or on a monthly basis. You want them to be little enough that they have to save it over a period of time in order to make a purchase. If they wanted to buy something or they wanted to give a gift to, their parents or friends or something like that. If you have young adult children, it's a little bit late for maybe giving them allowance. You can if you want to, but it's probably better off to talk to them about having a disciplined savings plan and maybe help them arrange it. Sit down with their banker or their advisor, or just have that conversation with them on the importance of having a savings plan. Step number 2, with those savings, teach your children the value of money. Money doesn't just grow on trees. It's not numbers in your bank account or dollar bills in your wallet. It represents effort, work, discipline. Someone had to earn that money. So for example, my daughter is 5 years old. She has too many toys. So I've decided that I'm going to give her a daily allowance of $2 a day. She has to make her bed. She's got to put away her toys and do, chores that are easy for a 5-year-old to complete. In exchange, she earns $2 a day. And when she wants to buy something, she has to save it up over a certain period of time. We count all the money out and then she makes her purchase. So the key is for her to connect her effort with how hard it is to buy that toy, so that she's not just buying stuff. It becomes more meaningful for her. If you have older children that are maybe earning their own money and you haven't had the conversation with them yet, a way that you can discuss this is, if they're working, you can talk about what's their hourly salary, the amount that their money they're earning on an hourly basis, and you can break it down into, if you wanted to go on, say, a trip to Europe, it'll cost such and such amount of money, and break it down how many hours it will take for that person, your child, to go to work to earn that trip to Europe or that car or the house, the savings for the down payment. The key is to have that conversation with them, get the dialogue going so that they understand that money is not just pieces of paper or numbers in your bank account, it's effort. Step number 3, set up an investment account. For teenagers and young adults, you can definitely do this. For a teenager, you probably would have to open the account in your name first, and it'll be an informal account that you are holding for your children. And then as young adults, they can go ahead and open it themselves when they're of age. But the sooner they get this started, the better. And then you can have discussions about, the types of investments that you're going to buy in there and talk about it. Step number 4 is make sure that they have some skin in the game. So you can put some money towards their initial investment just to get them started, but they should also put some money towards it. It'll be more meaningful to them. If you're just giving money all the time, you don't have to put any effort towards it. It doesn't mean anything to you. You're not going to value it as much as if you had to earn the money yourself. You put it in the account and then you watch it grow. Step number 5, allow them to make minor mistakes. Making mistakes at the beginning is a lot less costly, and it'll be a valuable learning lesson for them than if they're to make that mistake later on in life when they have a lot more money, that is at risk, basically. So allow them to make the mistakes early, but make them minor so that they can recover from that. And allow them to challenge you. Sometimes we can learn from our kids. They've got valuable information and valuable ideas that we should listen to. Step number 6. Listen to what is meaningful to your child. Don't just invest how you want your child to invest or your grandchild, because this will be meaningless to them. What do I mean by that? I have a young client, he's 30, he's a biologist, he's at the beginning of his career. His parents are very successful. They have completely different views about how the world works. So the son is interested in environmental, social governments, and the father, he wasn't really sure about that. But what we did is, Steve and I, my business partner, we decided we were going to really listen to our client, our young client, the biologist, and we were going to look at investing in ESG. And we were going to do a study. And so what we did is we found an ETF. It was a water wheat ETF, and it is going to work for this client as his first investment. Now, to him, that's meaningful because it connects with him in his career as a biologist. So it's important to listen to your children and your grandchildren, listen to their ideas, think about what's important to them and what's close to their heart, and then make that investment based on that conversation. Don't just write it off as, them being a young person and, maybe not having experience, because sometimes young people have really great new ideas and we should pay attention to them. I hope this has been helpful for you. I'm Anna Hilberry. Thank you for listening.